I like the idea that the Borp is like a whack-a-mole. And after getting timed out, the head just like pops up like... and then goes, bitch, and then pops back down. Why is hydration on cooldown? Because Arc Rogue's bitch ass redeemed it off rip. Hey guys, how's it going? Good morning, afternoon, evening. Hopefully y'all are doing well on this fine Tuesday in it. MF is not respecting my freedom of speech. Not a thing here. Famously, you do not have freedom of speech in my chat. This is not a democracy, this is a dictatorship. I just happen to be very lenient. Bro thinks he has rights. That's crazy. Well, that's rude? No, that's reality is what that is. Yeah, how often have I said that? I am a man of the people, and the people is me. Yeah, y'all motherfuckers are in my chat room, are in my polls, tying behind the servant results. So now you guys are like, oh, we want you to do more French content. Oh, we want you to make one about the Amazon, so it gets tied. Between all three of the different... This is the voting on 3 different platforms is supposed to make it so that this doesn't happen, and we somehow still tied it. Anyway, how you guys doing? Hopefully y'all are doing well. Today, it's Strange Fake Day. I put together a little thing. Maybe it'll take 45 minutes, maybe it'll take an hour, who knows? And we'll go from there, and it will be a good time. I will have to disable the bot because well, I don't trust you. It's not my fault your community has diversity and taste. You're right, but it is your fault for seeing that the vote was going to go one way and then being like, what if I ebbed it towards the other, so that way we have an equilibrium. It is my fault for continuing to rely on the democratic system when very clearly it has historically been shown in my community to not work. We have to pretend I've watched Strange Fake and I haven't been eternally procrastinating. Well, hopefully this will motivate you to watch it because this is what we're doing today. Okay. I need to really quickly, because I don't want to fuck with this too much. I'm gonna do something really quick. Oh, for those of you on the, for those of you who are around on or subbed on Twitch, new emote dropped. Have fun with it. I maybe will go back and do more with that emote in the future, but right now, I think it's okay for what it is. It's silly and goofy, and I like it. Okay, let me quickly edit this to add. Yup. And there we go. Perfect. Yeah, there they go. Look at them go. Look at them go. Okay. So, you know. Don't try to make Tammy talk right now because it's not going to go well for you. All right. So here's the plan, fellas. This is going to be a half scripted, half on the fly style video. If you've seen any of my my Lost Belt 7 review, or did I do one for Trom? No, I did one for OC1. My OC1 review, shit like that. If this is going to be in the same vein as that, and I will be going through, and I'll probably after this I'll go and like edit it myself, like cut things down. Where's Lost Belt 6? Old and a lot. Maybe one day I'll sit down and make that. I'd have to remember everything that happened because a lot happens in Lost Belt 6, you know. Okay. So, there will be points in between for questions. And as we go, you know, I think it'll just be a nice time all around. So, yeah, say hi to YouTube. I'm going to do a proper introduction in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, how's it going? Fate Strange Fake, the latest installment into the Fate anime catalog. This show's release caused more than a bit of a stir for a handful of reasons. Some good and well, some kind of bad. But by and large, I think that most people who watched it through to the end thought that it was a pretty enjoyable ride all the way through, right? So what I kind of want to do today is just kind of like air out my thoughts on Fate Strange Fake, and maybe answer some questions, and maybe like kind of answer the general question of just like, is Fate Strange Fake worth watching, whether you're a Fate fan or not? Because that seemed to be a big point of contention for a lot of people when this series first aired. All right, so let's get into it. I kind of want to start by addressing the big elephant in the room about this whole series, and that was the release schedule, right? One of the most damning things about Fate Strange Fake, like, as a whole, is that, and it kind of turned, I think it kind of turned a lot of people off to it, was that the project overall had a, let's just say, a wacky release schedule. For a very long time. They released an hour-long episode 0 that was meant to build up the world and kind of set the stage for everything that's about to go down. And honestly, that episode 0 is awesome. Beautifully shot, beautifully animated. It does a fantastic job of setting up the world. It has a lot of like really fun fan servicey characters like Gilgamesh there. And it was, you know, I think it served its purpose very, very, very well. And honestly, it was more like a mini motion picture for anything like more than like an actual episode. It was all just establishment of like, okay, here's the world that we're going to be in. Buckle up, it's going to be good, right? And it was awesome. It was a fantastic, nice little like teaser for people to like sink their teeth into. And that was in 2023. Yeah. And then they kind of just didn't touch the series for a very long time. They built up a shit ton of hype around it. All of it was really cool. They set up a lot of really nice things, and then they just let it come to a nice room temperature on everything. You know what I mean? It was, they had set everything up to be really, really fun and interesting, and then they kind of just, you know, just let it sit. And then, you know, after over a year of waiting, they finally released something new. Oh. And that was that with the Fate Grand Order, brand new, New Year's Servant 2025, we got Richard, the main character for Fate Strange Fake, as a servant. A summonable servant. And so there was all of a sudden a lot of hype kind of built up. They reignited that fire. It was really good. And then they released the first episode as well around that same time to help establish his character, get people really familiar with the character of Richard the Lionheart. Good design. He looks really cool. He was a decent unit on release in FGO, so people were like, oh, this guy's fucking awesome. And then like he had his third ascension, which had like a fucking lion head, which was crazy. And people are like, oh, is this going to tie into this? And then that was confirmed to not be the case, but still. They built up more and more hype around it, and it was good. And they just kept building it, and it was fantastic. Everything was like looking really, really good. And then they didn't do anything with it for another year. It just kind of, like, they just let it sit again for an entire year. And it took years of breadcrumbing and teasing with these things for the series to finally actually air. Now, this is because the series was apparently in production hell, getting pushed back and delayed constantly. Like, it was supposed to have come out sometime in 2024, then in 2025, until eventually airing early in 2026. Now, for people who picked up the series, for people who kind of like picked up this series, there's no attachments to Fate, and they just kind of like started watching it weekly or watching it all at once after it had aired, this is all completely irrelevant information. If you're just a casual Fate fan or anime watcher, then this is just another anime series that you may or may not enjoy, right? For people deep in the trenches of this franchise, though, this was agony, because Fate's Strange Fake is kind of like a white whale series in Fate, because it is not published in English at all. And there are unofficial translations for it that are out there, but they are known to kind of just vanish. They get hit pretty hard by copyright hammers, constantly. And then the anime series was in production hell for so long that we didn't know if it was actually going to ever get properly made. And then additionally, those that kind of like read it, those that read it unofficially or otherwise swear by its quality. So, like, you know, that's kind of like, well, how do you say it? It's chasing the dragon. You were given the hit and you were told by people how amazing this thing was. Oh my god, it's so good. The writing's so good. The ideas that they're playing around with are really interesting and fun. And then there's no way to actually consume this until now. And so, with all those factors in place, this series now has a massive, I'm talking gargantuan pair of boots that it needs to fill. So, did Fate Strange Fake deliver? Absolutely. Let's talk about it. So let's talk about it like this. First off, my credentials, because I'm sure if you've never seen my content before and you clicked on this video, you might be interested. I'm a Fate fan, obviously. I watched the whole thing with my community weekly on Tuesdays. It was great. And I'm, unfortunately, very critical of the Fate franchise, to the point that I've been called a tourist, a LARPer, or whatever other fucking crazy Reddit word that people are throwing around. Well, you don't really have a good argument against what the person is saying, so you're just going to say this instead in hopes that it'll insult them to the point where they actually just, like, give up or go cry or something. I don't know. Those are words I don't use. Those are words that kids use. God, I'm just now realizing how dog shit quality the lowest quality images, because these were not like this when I posted them here. Whatever, fuck it. Here's kind of like the general breakdown of Strange Fake, without going into too much in the realm of spoilers. In a place that is totally not Las Vegas, called Snowtown, a Holy Grail war. Is it Snowtown? No, it's Snowfield, right? Snowtown, Snowfield, Snow something. Snowland. A Holy Grail war is being set up to be performed, except this time there's something weird about it. Yeah, Snowfield, thank you. Snowtown, Snowfield, whatever. Who fucking... It's literally generic snow name place. Who gives a fuck? It's so irrelevant to anything. Except this time, for this Holy Grail war, there's something weird about it. You know, not like every other Holy Grail war in the franchise that goes exactly how a Holy Grail war is supposed to go, right? Well, we get introduced to a character who's conducting the war for his own dubious means, and a bunch of characters who summon their servants, along with some brief glances into their motivations and how they are, you know, kind of like how they are as people. Notable mentions here are Flat, who is a minor character in other Fate franchises, and a student of Waver Velvet, a very popular Fate character. Tine, who is Gilgamesh's master and wishes to restore her people, and Tsubaki, who is the trauma vacuum character of the series, and has the singular coolest servant in the entire show. It's awesome. Oh, and then there's also Jester, who's like a fucking super vampire called the True Ancestor. There's a bunch of other characters as well, but we'll get into them. But, you know, we'll get into them eventually, maybe. The thing that's quote-unquote weird about this war is that normally in a Holy Grail war, only seven servants are supposed to be summoned by 7 masters, and in the basic 7 classes. But Dead Apostle? Yeah, sorry. Dead Apostle Ancestor, True Ancestor, I got my fucking fate bullshit mixed up. Thank you for correcting me. But for some reason, 7 more servants have been summoned by 7 other masters here as well. And this creates a dynamic of fake servants and true servants. What this means for the series, you'll have to find out on your own, but we've been seeing something similar. We've seen something similar to this happen before in Fate Apocrypha. Though, mind you, the conditions that led to those two things are completely different, and so that connection is questionable at best. We are also introduced to Ayaka. Ooh, not her. We're also introduced to Ayaka and her servant Richard, who are the main characters, which isn't abundantly clear. So something that I think that is very impressive about Strange Fate, kind of just off rip, is that other series kind of failed to do this, is having too big of a cast. There are a shit ton of characters in Strange Fate, and all of them are relatively complex in their own motives, desires, and decisions. Some of these characters don't get a lot of screen time, but don't really need it because you can kind of just figure out what they're up to off of their vibe. A good example of that would be somebody like... I saw him here earlier. Where'd he go? What? No, he's not here. I was going to say Enkidu. A good example of that is somebody like Enkidu. You don't need to know much about Enkidu to kind of get the idea behind what Enkidu's about, right? I'm just going to switch over to this because this is this is a better resolution picture. Goatman versus the Scuff, always. Yeah. So, like, I don't know. Yeah, Enkidu and his master, his master's a dog, like a chimera dog, and Enkidu is kind of like an off character. If you know FGO, you recognize Enkidu, but you don't really need to know anything about him to kind of get the vibe of what Enkidu's whole deal is. You see him fight Gilgamesh, you see him, like, you know, interact with Gilgamesh, and then he's just in nature being, like, a traditional, like, kind of generic sage character. So, you know, he's one of those characters, he's cool, but, like, you don't need to know much about him, but you get the vibe. Meanwhile, others that are kind of newer to this and that are going to need a bit more explaining, and they get that in spades, are characters like Sigma and the new Hassan, right? The series does a great job of balancing its cast and is, you know, giving you enough to understand why these characters are willing to do what they're doing, because this is a death battle to the, like, fighting and killing other people, right? Also, what isn't said in words for this series is made up by the visual storytelling. Lighting does wonders to illuminate things about these characters when they're interacting or monologuing. And the background work for this does wonders for the storytelling. It's genuinely, how this all culminated and became one giant, really interesting series is super cool. And it's very clear that, like, a ton of thought was put into each single area that people appear in to, like, really sell every single scene. And, you know, that isn't to say that, like, there are characters in this that aren't, like, lacking development or anything like that. Let me show you a perfect example of a character who does not get any development at all, and it's just like, okay, what? This is Hippolyta. Or rather, this is Ryder. She shows up for a single episode. She says that she hates that guy, and then, you know, doesn't appear for the rest of the series. She kind of just shows up, says fuck that person, and then leaves. And, you know, this is because they're going to get more relevance in the later half of the series, but right now, there's not much that we know about what's going on with her. And, you know, the same for that can be said about Berserker, who appears for 2 episodes, I believe, in total, flexes on everybody, and then fucks off somewhere else. But by and large, the characters as a whole are really well delivered on, and if I had to make one complaint about a character that I wish they had done more with earlier on, rather than waiting for the second season to really get into it, it would be Ayaka. who is meant to be the main lead. They kind of sell it that she's supposed to be the main character, right? The only reason I'm really singling her out for that is because everyone else, I'm singling her out over everyone else is because she does feel like she's supposed to be the main lead, and with that there comes like a loftier weight to be put in the mind of like her development, and we got some of it. We got some interesting stuff with her, but you know, little tidbits here and there, but like, and maybe some like implications that she has something to do with the Ironsburns and the clock tower, and that she herself isn't a mage, even though we know that isn't really true. Fan art has done a number to help people like understand what her deal is, weirdly enough, but like, if you don't know what's going on with her, then like with the fan art, then it's very confusing why she got command seals all over her. I don't know what that's about personally, because I'm not that caught up on the Strange Fake, the visual novel or the graphic novel. And then she has the other additional thing where she's being chased by like the ghost of Little Red Riding Hood, which is implied to act like the immortal snail, where if it catches up to her, it'll kill her or something. We get these little details with her and a lot of mystery surrounding her, and she herself is kind of a flat character for a lot of the first season. Like, I just wanted more. I wanted more to latch onto with her, because I feel like we don't get a lot. Mind you, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, because she works well as a foil for the more larger-than-life character that is Richard, and then the two of them have some really great moments together because of this, but I just wanted to kind of like, you know, I wanted a bit more from her. And this is 100% one of those moments where the light novel likely does more to flesh her out, but couldn't get it implemented due to time constraints. But, you know, I look forward to seeing whatever they do in Season 2. I'm just going to do a small... This is completely unrelated to this. I'm just going to do this out of spite for people. Any of you who are out here saying Coor, and yes, it's pronounced Coor like the light. I think that all of you look pretentious and douchey when you do it. Every single one of you. Just say Part 2 or Season 2. You know what Coor means? Coor just means part. It means broadcasting season. It's broadcasting season in Japan. Nobody thinks that you're cool because you're saying this. You look pretentious and douchey, you want to be cinephile. It's Season 2. Say Season 2. And with that out of the way, I'm really trying to rack my brain as to whether or not there are any characters that don't really work with the show. And right now, I really can't think of any of them. The only character I'm kind of whatever on is Archer's master. His name is Baz. I think it's Bazdalot is how you pronounce it. I'm trying to see where he shows up on this. I don't even know if he does. He looks like a mafia man with glasses and like demon eyes. And I wish I knew more about him or what his deal was, but we kind of don't get very much with him. It's not to say that he's like bad or anything, but he just doesn't really get any screen time, and so it's kind of forgettable. His design isn't exactly like super cool either. He does man fight fucking Herc at one point though, which is really interesting. You know, I wish that there was more. Because, yeah, the 10 minutes of screen time that he does get are crazy cool. But then, I don't know. We don't really get much on that. Another character like that is, like, Berserker's Master, who gets all of, I think, like, 5 minutes of screen time. And in those 5 minutes, you just kind of comes off as, like, a very generic mage. But, you know, like Berserker, I think that we're going to learn more about her in the next part instead. But, you know, all in all, I'm relatively impressed. Like, we have a guy that is just... His name is literally John Strangefake. He's legitimately just named John Strangefake. And he is one of the most compelling characters in the entire show. And there's even characters that, that I thought I would hate, like Jester. Like, a character like Jester is a character that normally I just don't like. But he's such like a bastard and deserves to die 1,000 deaths, but is endlessly entertaining to watch because of how much of a bastard he is. He's just evil. He's just like an evil bastard, and I really, really am into it. I kind of like him. I like the fact that he's just a dick. There's nothing super special about him. He's just an asshole, and I respect it. I respect it. I know, and that's not to say there isn't more to his character, because I know there is, and that was revealed in the very, like, last part of the show. But I like it. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. The idea of like a vampire that's grown bored with existence and so now they just kill people to kill time and torment others. The dude's he's a fucking Cenobite. The fucker's a Cenobite, and I love it. All right, we're gonna take a small pause for questions. Does anybody have any curious things they want to add in right now? The one of these that's blowing my mind the most is that I didn't realize that Mozart and Gilgamesh were the same guy. Saber being Josuke makes sense. Ayaka being fucking Alice makes sense. Why is Flat here twice? Because he's the goat. Jack is Pain from Naruto? That's actually kind of crazy. Alright. Question time. Anything that you guys are curious about my feelings on up until now? Am I okay? No. Next question. Who's Hippolyta's master? I don't fucking know. Opinions on Alcides. I think it's Alcides. I'm grossly indifferent towards Alcides. He's currently fulfilling the same role that Gilgamesh had in the Fuyuki Holy Grail War, Part 5, which is that he's supposed to be an incredibly strong and near indomitable servant that other people have to deal with, right? And so, aside from him just being kind of like a fan servicey appearance and doing stuff like that and being strong, I like the dynamic that he's brainwashed into doing the things that he's doing. But I also feel like, I don't know, he's not particularly interesting. He's just kind of there. Opinions about Sigma's character growth so far. It's been good. I've liked it. It's interesting to see a character who's cold and has had a terrible life slowly open up and learning to trust others. I've heard Alcides before. I've said Alcides, but well, here's the thing. Anytime I say anything in Greek, I get corrected for saying it wrong. What is the middle Medusa sister, the middle Gorgon sister's name, chat? What is that? Oh, Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is fantastic in this series. As someone who's been dubbed a Gilgamesh hater because of that video I put out, he is a joy to watch in this series. Because he's just an overconfident dickhead in the positive. I mean that in an affectionate way. I like. Okay. Any last minute questions? Anybody? Going once, going twice. And to answer the question from Bazab, no. Unfortunately, I will not be doing Japanese only for this recorded content. It's not happening. But I appreciate the attempt. You're not the first, and you won't be the last to try and do that shit. Who do you think we're going to get in the collab? I'll answer that at the end. All right. Hold on. Was there... Uri Yale. Fake assassin thoughts. Which one is fake assassin? Hassan is the fake? Really? Homeboy, I do not speak Cyrillic. I can't read Cyrillic. I don't know what that says. I appreciate it, but I don't know. The girl one. Okay. I see. Oh. Whoops. Hold on, I accidentally banned somebody. Fuck you. That was a spoiler and you know it. That was a spoiler, so I meant to delete the message, but you know. What about the ball of craze that is Perlotti? Yeah, we'll get into it. How do I feel about female assassin? I like her. It's not he's in the anime. I'm aware of that. I'm aware that True Assassin is in the anime. Did you all know that Otto the Great, one of the big heads of the Holy Roman Empire, was Richard's acquaintance in his youth? I would believe it. Anyway, moving on. How do I feel about female assassin? She's awesome. I like her. Actually, I'm going to talk about here in just a second. Let's get into it. All right. So let's talk about okay. So the cast is good. The setting of it being in America is also good. I ain't even talked about the music, which is immaculately good. Dude, that intro song is... oh, it's so good. And the animation is phenomenal. This brings us to one big issue that people had with Fate Strange Fake on release. What was it, chat? What was the problem? What was the problem with this show on release? Do you guys remember? What was the big issue that was happening? What were people doing when this show came out for the first time? The Glazers? Oh, quite the opposite, my friend. Crunchyroll animation quality. Dude, okay. I don't know what Crunchyroll be doing, but I'm gonna guess spoiling. Oh man, you guys are so close, but not right. Everything was good, and what did people do about it? Motherfuckers were gatekeeping. Gatekeeping. This is the most I have seen in recent memory of people in this community actively fighting against the general public, telling them to go away and not watch their anime. Like, I'm gonna say this, I was not involved in like the Fate scene when Apocrypha dropped, right? APOC was my very first Fate series, and I watched it and I got hooked. So if anyone is like an older head than I am and saw this kind of reaction back then, just, you know, let me know. And if you avoid anime, Reddit, and Twitter, which you should, you may have kind of missed this, but there was a I didn't have a choice to miss this because I'm so entrenched in the community. There's a literal tsunami of people telling other people not to watch Fate Strange Fake because you wouldn't understand anything that is happening in it. The show is too referential to Stay Night, and so without the context, you won't get the full experience. You should never start consuming Fate content unless you've read the original Fate Stay Night visual novel, and this is a terrible entry point into the Fate series because it is not how a Holy Grail war is being. It's about how a Holy Grail war is being weird, and you need to get the context as to why it's weird. This show won't explain anything to you, so unless you can give me a dissertation on Velbur, Alaya, and the root, every version of Mystic Eyes, and write the kanji for Seihai Senso with your non-dominant hand blindfolded, you shouldn't be even looking upon this anime Crunchyroll page. And before anyone says that this is an exaggeration, I want you to know, I had people in my chat room while we were doing watch-alongs coming in and saying this was not a good entry point for the series. This is people actually coming in and acting as if this show was not. You shouldn't watch this. Don't watch. Do you not know Fate? You shouldn't watch this. Oh my God, you're gonna be so confused that you're gonna hate this. You're gonna hate it. You'll hate this if you don't know Fate at all. Like I like to play things up a little bit for the funnies, right? This was not an exaggeration. People were actively trying to talk. It was like people trying to talk someone out of jumping off a building. Like, don't watch this. You'll have no idea what you're doing. It's just like it's so like, oh, this is so bad. You can't even believe all these things that are happening. How can you get into this without the context? This show explains everything that you need to know about the world concisely and clearly in the first episode, and then sprinkles additional information in as needed. I have several friends that are not into Fate, right? This is a very key point to some of my content, that I have a lot of friends that are not into Fate, because I use them for content by exposing them to bits and pieces of Fate and then seeing them react to it. I have my buddy Nines, who's not into Fate at all, and I have my buddy Dilly, who is not into Fate at all. Nines at least plays other gachas. Dilly is not like that, but both of them watched Fate Strange Fake, and both of them really, really enjoyed it. You have somebody who has a light knowledge of it, and then someone who does not have any knowledge of it, and both of them were like, dude, that shit was fucking heat. It's like, yeah. The show itself, it has references, right? The show has references to other Fate media in it. Funny enough, the most meaningful of these isn't even a reference to Fate Stay Night at all. Like, all of these motherfuckers were telling people they need to know before they can get into this. Instead, the most meaningful reference that maybe people wouldn't get if they didn't know any other Fate series was the King's Banquet from Fate Zero. A series, mind you, that these same people say is bad. And this scene, that is an entire reference, it's an entire recreation to Fate Zero, it is done so that it's a reference to Fate Zero, and it recreates it in a way that having the context amplifies the message, but explains enough of what is going on while you're watching it that you don't need the context. And that's kind of the general vibe of the quote-unquote necessary prior reading that people are saying you need. They will show you something or name drop something in this show that to a hardcore Fate fan, you can soy face at. But more often than not, the direct relevance to the plot for that is completely unnecessary. Let's take, for example, somebody like Hassan, right? We know that generally speaking, in a Holy Grail war, the assassin summoned is supposed to be a member of the 19 Hassani Saba. If you are familiar with Fate Stay Night, you know that Cursed Arm Hassan and his noble Phantasm Zabaniya, right? He is able to create a replica of somebody's heart and then crush it with his cursed arm, which kills them. We also know that by and large, the noble phantasms are unique, and that the Hassans all have their own unique specialized technique that they are famous for. So, seeing a new character use the cursed arm throws up an eyebrow for people who know that detail, right? A person who hasn't engaged with Fate Stay Night won't get that, but it doesn't negatively impact their experience. If anything, they're like, wow, that was fucking crazy, right? It's much in the same way that the appearance of certain mobs or that summoning a high-level servant results in a rainbow blasting out from the summoning circle. It doesn't mean anything to the average viewer, but an FGO fan will look at it and soy face super fucking hard, right? Hell, I even had some moments where I didn't understand the references at all. Mind you, these were mostly pertaining to the things that were happening for case files. And like how Flat knew this insanely dripped out gentleman on a yacht for some reason, with fireworks going off around him. And, you know, rather than feel like, oh, I'm stupid, I hate this series now because I didn't understand this one reference, boss. I don't get it, boss. Why'd he do that? Why does he know this man with a top hat? I don't get it, boss. Rather than freak out like a fucking chimp, I instead was just like, wow, I should go watch fucking case files. That seems like I'd be right up my alley. I'm interested now. Who is this guy? Why does Flat know this guy? I kind of want to see what this dude's all about, right? And, you know, I personally believe that is the primary reaction you're going to get out of most people, is being like, hey, I'm interested. I want to know more. They've built up the lore pretty well, so I'm kind of interested to see what else is going on in the lore here. Let's go check it out. God damn, why is the quality so dog shit on these? Anyway, it gets worse. The quality gets worse with each slide, and it was fine in the preview. God damn it. Love this. Crunchyroll ass picture. I know, right? Ugh. There seems to be this misconception that if somebody does not understand a reference, that they're going to get frustrated and hate the series or something. I'm pretty sure it's the opposite. At least with the people that I've talked to about it in this, you know, I'm genuinely baffled at the fact that watch order discourse like this is still happening, as if any of you morons have any authority to tell anybody how to enjoy something. Like, the only Fate series, genuinely, the only Fate series I can say you should not start with is Case Files. And that is because Case Files is very deep in the weeds of, like, the fundamentals of magic, and having that extra context beforehand is really helpful. How about Prisma Ilia? Prisma Ilia is so detached from Fate and does its own thing that it genuinely, you can just sit down and watch that if you want to. Watch Season 1 of Aprilia, it's fine. It explores great concepts. It's after Season 1 where shit gets kind of sus. Watch Season 1 and then watch Oath Under Snow. But, like, you know, Case Files is the one I'd be like, maybe don't start with that one. And that's just because Case Files explores and has, like, Case Files, from how I understand it at the very least, has way more to do with, like, the intricacies of magic and bullshit like that, as opposed to, like, normal Fate, which just explores, like, the more engaging thing, which I would say is, like, the Holy Grail Wars. Mind you, I've not seen Case Files, so I can't say, but I remember trying to watch the first episode a long time ago and not understanding it and being like, I'm gonna come back to this. Okay. And also, one other thing I want to say is, and I'm going to say this again, because people are talking about fundamental things, like people not understanding why this Holy Grail War is weird. That was a big talking point. Do you guys remember that? That was genuinely something that people were talking about, being like, yeah, the thing is with this, that is like, this Holy Grail War in particular is really weird, and, like, you know, people aren't going to understand, like, you need to watch Stay Night to understand why, like, this one is weird and Stay Night wasn't, or, like, this one was weird for this reason, like, you know, all of this is just, like, I don't know, this one's an exception, this is the weird one, right? Let's run down the catalog, shall we? Let me see. Let's start with Fate Zero. Let's run down the catalog of all these totally normal, totally normal Holy Grail Wars. Fate Zero had Onger Minyu, which corrupted the Grail and fucked up everything. Fate Stay Night had servants summoning other servants, and some servants that were still around from Zero, Gilgamesh, interfering with things. Fate Apocrypha had a big Holy Grail War and 14 servants there. Prototype. There's a little girl that becomes a demon god and the Grail is fucked up, dude. The third Holy Grail War. Literally, it changes based on the timeline that's happening. There's no consistent thing that happens with, like, the third one. But Fion does win in one event, which is fucking cool. Fate Extra. BB-breasted boobily beyond boundaries, befuddling basic bureaucracies, and then also whatever the fuck Twice was doing. Twice Peaceman. Whatever the fuck Twice Peaceman was doing. Mooncell AI bullshit. Fate Redline has future bullshit and time travel. It's literally a guy comes back from the past and comes back from the future and influences the past and fucks with things. Fate Samurai Remnant. That's not an actual Holy Grail. It's a fake. It's made of hands. It's weird. And then, you know, whatever the fuck Fate Grand Order is doing. Like, let's not even talk about that. And then there's even other series as well that aren't fully finished, like Fate Labyrinth, Fate Lost Einrar, Fate Requiem, and all of them also have their own really weird shit that's happening. So I guess maybe the point to make with this is that people who are like, yeah, this one's a weird Holy Grail war. My brother in Christ, there has never been a normal Holy Grail. The closest one to a normal Holy Grail war that we've had is motherfucking the third one that we don't see. The inconsistent, mysterious third Fuyuki Holy Grail war that we don't see, like, what happens with it. Fion does win the third Holy Grail war in one instance. Yes, he does. Don't come at me with this. Well, I'll argue about that. I'll argue with you about that later. Okay. And now here's the other thing. Fate Strange Fake does a good job of explaining what you need to know, while leaving a nice little additional thing for people who do know more, right? And shout out to my community really quick, just all of you in the chat right now, for keeping the consistent gray counter every time she appeared during Strange Fake. That was one of my favorite parts about watching this with my community. So, this takes us to a very basic question. Is Fate Strange Fake worth watching? Absolutely. If you are a fan of the Fate series, then 100% you should watch this, because this is the singular best Fate anime that we've gotten, probably since Unlimited Blade Works. And as a non-Fate fan, if you like fantasy, battle royales, history, good fight scenes, and good character development, then you will enjoy this show. There are enough elements in it that make it entertaining for fighting shonen fans and anime fans who want a little bit more out of their media. So, this is as far from high art, this is far from like high art, but is a genuinely enjoyable series for a lot of people. There was apparently discussions about how this was meant to be a good gateway anime for people to get into Fate, and now, having seen all of the first season, I would be inclined to agree with that. Go check it out, it's really fun. I'm going to give this series personally a solid 9 out of 10. I genuinely love this series. I'm excited to see what the second part does. It's been a fantastic ride up until now. So, with that said, are there any final questions from my community? I'm on that conspiracy theory that Requiem's author just made a volume or two just so that he could get his shit into FGO and never dig that again. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd believe it. Babylonia is okay. I thought Babylonia was good, but I don't know. I love how pretty much every proper/improper Holy Grail war has at some point been fucked up because X Party had a skill issue and couldn't win, so they did X weird shit into the Holy Grail, and now it's fucked. I mean, more or less. Could you beat Enkidu and Mahjong? Probably. Why? I'm not... Okay, pause. Saying I thought it was okay is not slander. If I said this is dog shit and I hate it and fuck you for liking it, that's slander. I just thought it was just okay, man. I didn't say it was like the best thing ever. The best thing about the Babylonia anime is getting to see Ushiwakamaru animated. I love it if they'd officially release more Type Moon stuff outside of Japan. I'm gonna be so real with you. If I was Type Moon, I wouldn't. I've seen how the Western anime audience is. No, there has never... I guess that is a point of contention that I take, that pisses me off is when people are like, when people were genuinely like, yeah, this one's a weird Holy Grail war. I'm like, you stupid bastard. Name one normal Holy Grail war. Name one. If you can do it, I will give you a $5 bill. Which is the weirdest Holy Grail war? Probably Apocrypha. No, the weirdest is the Moon Cell. The weirdest has to be something that happened on the Moon Cell. Either the original one that happens in Extra or CCC. One or the other.
Yay!
TPH Zitachi 119. I think we follow. Welcome. I hope that you enjoy your stay. Yeah, CCC is bizarre. The weirdest one is Himuro no Tenchi. I don't know what that is. Oh, but answer the question. Who do I think is going to be in the Strange Fate collab? I feel like I've answered this question like 18 different times. It's going to be Prolati. It's going to be Flat. And it's going to be Ayaka. And then Hit Paleida is going to be added as a 3-star. All right. Well, with that out of the way, if you watch this, and I've probably edited it down a little bit so you guys didn't get, overwhelmed by everything. Hey, fellas, I will be. How do I want to put this? No, my brain just shut off. It genuinely just shut off. I think that you should go watch Strange Fate. Strange Fate is a fantastic series. I have a sneeze and it's stuck and it hurts. I think you should go watch Strange Fate. I think it's a solid 9 out of 10. I think that if you watch Strange Fate, let me know what you thought down in the comments of this potential YouTube video. Otherwise, like, comment, and subscribe. Do all the things to help push me through the algorithm. Because right now, YouTube changed its algorithm, and now it's even worse somehow. I don't know who at YouTube, I don't know what AI bot is deciding how these algorithms at YouTube are supposed to work, but they are weird right now. So help a brother out. Drop a like and share this with people. If you like Strange Fake, let me know. If you hated Strange Fake, you let me know too. For now, though, keep your chin up, fellas. Peace out, big love. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, YouTube video done. We're not leaving yet, though. We got other shit to do. Ugh. Watch Dumas be a 3 or 4. He'd be like a 1-star. Dumas would 100. Dumas is the epitome of a 1-star servant. Ooh. Jack could be a 4-star. Jack plus Flat would be the welfare. That's my prediction. Is Jack with Flat is the welfare. So here's the thing. There's nothing bad on the LD player that I'd be worried about. I'm more concerned about, like, personal information, rather. I'm more concerned about the fact that LD player will just put porn ads over the top of it for whatever reason, and that getting me banned. The other character I could see them maybe adding is Hassan, just because I think people really want Hassan. I mean, my Hail Mary one that I would really want, that I don't think that we would ever get, is I would love for them to add in, I think it's Fake Berserker. Is Jack is true Berserker, right? Is Jack true or fake? Jack is true, right? Jack is the fake. Okay. Then I want True Berserker. Did you watch Project Hail Mary? Never heard of it. I want True Berserker because I know True Berserker's deal, and they're fucking cool, dude. I'm trying. Okay. No, that information is, as a matter of fact, is not out. I mean, it's out if you're caught up on other things. I know who that is because I have to do research into shit. But for the sake of the viewing audience, I mean, honestly, Hippolyta would be an interesting one to throw out there because we didn't get much information, and that could build hype for whatever the fuck she's going to end up doing eventually. You know what I mean? Did I just get... Did Okita just give me 12 Saint Quartz? Holy shit, thanks, Okita. Okay. Let's finish going through the interludes. Let's finish up my ludes. And then we'll start blitzing our way through everything else. 5 stars seems too much for... I think Hippolyta would make a good 4-star. Even then, I think she'd even make a good 3-star. Am I streaming in 720p? No, it should be in 1080. I've got 6,000 bit rate, so, I mean, I don't know. If it ain't going through, I don't know why it's not. Where's my man? No. I want my own. The better one. Forgetting Prelati, if we would be getting Francois or Francesca. That's not a real question. We would get Francesca. YouTube has you pegged at 720p. Well, YouTube needs to suck my cock then. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's 720p max? That's stupid. Bring Eric for this interlude. Yeah, okay. Put Oomphy in the back here. Do we know when the Strange Fate collab is happening? Or is that still like a mystery to is that one still a mystery to everyone? What's my target Saint Quartz? A lot. The 18th to the 27th? Okay. So soon TM. I'll put you in the back. Alright, where's my... Let's go. This one. This one. We're trying to farm as much bond as we can for the Prez. What about Fate Strange Fake? What do you mean, what about Fate Strange Fake? If you just came into the stream and missed everything, that's on you. You just came in after we talked about it for an hour. I don't know what to tell you, man. You showed up late, not me. There's no date, but by experience from previous collabs, somewhere around the 20th. Okay, so late April. Got it. Don't worry, it'll be made into a YouTube video. It'll be its own individual thing, eventually. So I can get new music. I can get more than just Blacktro music. There we go. I wonder, okay, I wonder. How many servants do you think we're going to get for the collab? Yeah, max 4 probably. I wonder if they would use this opportunity to add in more characters. Arc 1 second early to stream ban. He deserved it. I wonder if they would add any characters into the permanent pool. Yeah, I could see them doing a Samurai Remnant thing where they have a bunch of them. All the Whammon, maybe. Okay, well, three is the minimum, right? That's a 4-star, a 5-star, and a welfare, which is, you know, I'd say standard. I could see them adding in other characters into the proper like story banner and shit like that. Like have them become permanent fixtures in FGO. Then I mean, yeah, like I kind of mentioned in the when I was talking about it, one of the things with Strange Fake is that it has an enormous cast, and I am impressed that they're able to juggle so many characters and make them all feel fleshed out and interesting. That is no small feat to be able to do that. I'll say this, I don't think we're getting LCDs. I guess it'd be easier to say who I don't think we're going to get. I don't think we're getting LCDs. Gilgamesh and Enkidu we're not getting because we already have them. I don't think we're getting Mr. Black because I would love to get him, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think we're getting Watcher for the same reason. Enkidu animation update, honestly, I could see that. Not that, I mean, Enkidu has okay animations right now, but they could stand to be better. They'll have a summoning campaign for sure. I don't know about the skipped IDs though. No, we're not going to get LCDs. I don't think Richard needs a buff. Well, certain characters definitely need animation updates before Enkidu, but this game doesn't give a fuck about that. Believe me. Look, okay. Case in point, Eric Buster card. Watch this. That is a year 1 animation. Huge, strong, epic animation. He do be kind of hitting that shit. That is true. Do dance. Ooh, no, we want Prez here. Well, it's because all the characters share. A lot of the Berserkers shared the same animations until their animation updates. Every time they do an animation update, it means that Eric gets closer to getting his. Speaking of. Get him. What was I gonna say? Okay, who else is in Fate's Strange Fate? Let me think about it. The sabers that we have are Richard, and we don't know. Archers are Alcides, and we don't know. Lancers are Gil and no, sorry, it's Gilgamesh and Alcides. Those are our archers. Lancer, and that was a crazy crit, Eric, thank you. Lancer is Enkidu, and who's the other one? Oh, that's right, fucking yeah, I forget the Watcher counts as a Lancer. That's so strange. Rider is oh, hi Murasaki. Rider is Hippolyta and Mr. Black. Caster is Prelati and Dumas. God. Okay, hold on. Really quick. How many of you guys are familiar with Boudica's rank up quest? Or with Boudica's interlude? Let's actually watch this one, shall we? Does the second Holy Grail War count as a normal one? I don't know anything about it, so I can't say.
Bing pom pom pom.
I'm just a lore guy. Why? Okay. Okay, if you're a lore guy, then let me ask you this question. What is it that is a pivotal part of Boudica's character as to why she is the way she is? We can skip this because this isn't relevant. In what sense? You know what? Just watch. This is arguably one of the worst interludes in the entire game because of this. In-game? No. You'll understand. We'll get to this and then you'll understand. Alright, so first off, goblins. Chat, what do anime goblins do? Oh, I do need to fix the Goat Lad Tammy prices. You're so right. Alright, they're fixed. You don't use the correct terminology, you'll get in trouble.
I'm free.
You're free, Tammy. Yeah, let's watch. This is just a it's a very interesting choice because the Fate team is relatively well researched into history. It's one of the greatest
Behold,
boons.
for I am the beast of yapping.
It is one of the greatest boons of FGO as a series, is that they do the research into the characters that they're implementing, and so that way they can represent them in a way that is actually relatively, well, oftentimes like a bit flanderized, close to history, right? And they tend to not really like sugarcoat things either, which I do appreciate, right? Like, you know, we've all seen how they've treated Columbus in one of the most responsible ways that I've ever seen any series treat Columbus, which is, yeah, he was both a bad person, but he wasn't just a bad person. He did have drive and ambition, and there is a reason why he's considered a hero. He was a fucking shitty human being. But if it wasn't for him, several things wouldn't be the way they are right now. In the positive way, I should say. I love Ibuki. Alright, let's watch. Let's watch, shall we, fellas? Also, I love the more grown-up Gouda. She's such a cutie. That's all you need to see. Can you imagine being imagine you're Boudica. One of the things that is ingrained into history is that the Romans attempted to take over your kingdom and assaulted your daughters and yourself in front of you, and then that drove you so insane that you then went on a suicidal mission to kill every Roman you could find. And then imagine, what would this be, 1,500 years later or some shit? This is what is made about your legacy? They're making a very, very cheap, like, defeated heroine joke. I'd be fucking pissed. I remember reading that the first time and being like, that is shockingly insensitive of the Fate team. That one feels like a joke that maybe, you know, it feels like inappropriate, low-hanging fruit. It feels like a cheap Dojin plot. It feels like a cheap, like, Onkomen Dojin plot. It probably is somewhere. I'm sure that guy draws goblins. Ugh. Oh, wait, we're doing quick. I need one Scotty. Perfect. put my man in. Like, it wasn't bad, it just wasn't good. I mean, Boudica was a big miss for sure. They could have done like that whole I'm over it and now I'm at the throne, but the way they did it was just... Boudica is such a weird character in Fate because of how she's handled. She is very much dependent on who is currently writing her to be good, right? It's so unusual because how do I want to put this? Wait, what the fuck? Oh. Did I read? I did not read the Demeter event, no. Okay, you have instances with Boudica where they very responsibly handle the trauma from her life. How could she forgive Nero? That's my question. Well, that's the thing, is she really doesn't. And they address that. They address the fact that she has never forgiven Nero, nor does she ever plan to forgive Nero. However, she's able to work with Nero by setting her differences aside under the understanding that it's necessary to do what needs to be done. Which, yeah, I'm pretty sure that is what's addressed in her, it's addressed somewhere that's like the case. It's like, I'm never going to forgive you. I hate you. I wish you were dead. You did this to me. You ruined my life. And while I will never forgive you for that, I can understand that right now we are both working towards a common goal that is for the greater good. And so I'm willing to work with you for that. And then they don't... Now she's... And now she just has been relegated to kitchen staff and doesn't get any screen time at all, and it fucking sucks. Thankfully, he managed to pull an NP2 tie, so he's stronger than ever right now. Avenger Boudica, where she gets her long-awaited valid crash out. Oh yeah, I mean they could make a whole singularity about that. I mean, that history gets even more funky when you come to the realization that Nero didn't have anything to do with what happened to her family, and the guy who ordered the terrible shit to happen in that massacre, I'm pretty sure I don't know if he got excommunicated, but the dude who was like, yeah, literally go fuck these people up, he got really, really punished for doing that because he wasn't supposed to go do that. Singularity, all focused on servants that hate Rome. I mean, that could be kind of interesting. Oh, dude, people have been asking for Avenger Boudica to exist forever. Well, I mean, okay, Nero is the one who declared to go and invade that area, right? She is responsible to that regard, where she was just like, hey, we should go conquer this area. But then the other things that were ordered about it, go kill everybody there and go do terrible things to the people, is that was not within that person's jurisdiction. Boudica did say she can forgive Nero, Caesar, and all the other emperors, but not Roma. I mean, that's fair. Honestly, that kind of makes sense because like if that falls under the thing where even then like she would understand historically like it's not Nero's fault necessarily. It's the fault of this expanding empire that caused this to happen. I mean, shit. It would be really kind of cool to see, like, honestly, the anti-Roman Secret Avenger thing that they could do would be really interesting. Okay, who would be good characters for that? You could have Zenobia, you could have Locusta, and you could have Boudica. Those are 3 big names that could, like, be really interesting to see appear as antagonists in, like, an event or something. Because remember, Locusta, while she served Nero, was kidnapped from Gaul. Like, she wasn't supposed to... She's not a Roman. She got kidnapped and was told, work here. And they're like, all right. Nero's still directly at fault in the invasion in general, but the brutal pillaging and direct assault on Boudica's family and people was that one general specifically being a sick fuck. Oh, yeah. That guy in particular is certainly burning in hell for his misdeeds. Mind you, historical Nero is too, because historical Nero was homeboy was fucked up, as the kids say. That dude was fucked in the head. Insane in the membrane. Great artist? I don't think he was. I think he was probably relatively mediocre and got really mad. I need my Tai Gong Wong. We need a new Roman chapter. If we can get 2 Britain-centered chapters. I kind of don't want there to be, just because I feel like it's been done. You know what I mean? For my money, I'd prefer they explored new things. Wait, am I not allowed to use Thai? Is that the rule here? No Thai. I see. Well, like the Philippines? No. We shouldn't go there. I don't think we should go there. I think that we should avoid the Philippines at all cost. I need someone with cooldown reduction. I get it, same here, but it's also a shame as an art. Shame that someone of some of the old chapters barely explored their topics in a way that we do now. I know, right? It would be kind of cool to see more stuff like that. But, nah. Like, honestly, but here's the thing. I was going to say what they should do is go back and explore. You know what? I kind of want to prez this. Let's double prez this. I kind of want them to go and like re-explore old singularities that we did. I mean, shit, we don't know what part 3 actually looks like yet, do we? Like, does anybody know what the thing we're looking for in part 3 is? Like, what are we looking for in part 3? I don't think that we know, do we? I think we're just, like, kind of there. We don't even know if it's part 3 or 2.5. Yeah, I mean, even better then, because, like, we're like, all right. Looking for a beast? Well, I think that we know who the beast is. Yeah, and we are currently in the quote-unquote after story, but I mean, let me be clear. They're not stopping this shit. They're not putting the brakes on. This Gravy Train was #1 app in the App Store for God knows how long. Like, throughout the first part of this year. They ain't stopping this shit. Are you kidding me? Yeah, we're kind of just fucking around right now, but I'm sure we'll get more info. I do want more of the Middle East besides the Hassans. We got plenty of them. Like, more pharaohs besides the 3 that we got. Or maybe Saladin. Saladin is the one who I want. I want Saladin and Mehmed is it Mehmed II? Those are like 2 like Middle Eastern servants I want the most. I want those 2 to show up. I think we need Mehmed because I want to see the interactions between him, Vlad, and Constantine. That shit would be golden. Okay, well, here's what I want from Part 3. Genuinely, I said this from the beginning. I'll say it now. We're gonna end up exploring like modern day and solving paranormal mysteries case file style, kind of. I said the adventure is good. Yeah, the current adventure. And what happens when the current adventure ends? The next one begins. Yeah, we couldn't end FGO before summoning Snake. That's true. That's a good point. Psycho. Former especially highly admired even outside of the birth country. He's loved by most of the Muslim countries. Hell yeah. See, those are historical figures I'd like to know more about because admittedly, like, you know, it's not really something that's discussed in the West. So it's kind of like a ghost to me. I would love to know more. I think that discussing end-of-service signs in general is an unhealthy thing to do for your own mental. If you're constantly in this state where you're like, I think that this is going to end and therefore I cannot stop thinking that this is going to end, then it's maybe time to put a pause on things. I think that this is something that I think a lot of people do, which is they're so focused on getting to the finish line and kind of praying that it comes for whatever reason. And even if they've spent money on the game, and like we've all spent, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us have spent money on this game. God knows I've spent way too much money on this game, right? That doesn't mean I necessarily like don't want the game to end. I'd love for this game to have like a good conclusion, like any good story, right? But I think that the idea that like people have been seeing the quote unquote signs that this game is going to come to an end. They've been seeing those signs that this game is concluding since year 1. And my general policy is that until Nasu gets up on stage and points out and says, we're done, I think that anybody who's making shit up is anybody who's just like, have you not seen all these signs? Everybody who says shit like that has a tinfoil hat on. They don't think birds are real. They think that the earth is flat. They think that their mom's cooking is actually the best in the world. And they're just lying to themselves. Because my mom's cooking is the best in the world. Fuck y'all. It's like, it's just people conspiracy theorizing over and over again about shit. Which isn't to say that, like, you know, you can't do that. But, like, at some point it becomes toxic to yourself, and you shouldn't be treating yourself like that. You don't deserve to be treated like that, because it's just not a good way to go about life. It'll end eventually, but, you know, I don't think that we're going to see a proper conclusion. I mean, if you want, like, reverse signs of why it's not going to end, why the fuck would they have this entire, like, little spree of time that we've had in between this as of right now? And, like, why would they prolong it like this? Make a whole bunch of new shit for the series and then just be like, yep, we're done, and then just drop it. That is so much extra work that is completely unnecessary. And if the idea is like, well, they were just trying to milk as much money out of us as we can, are you stupid? They milked a fuck ton of money out of people with the conclusion. It just so happened that they made some more by keeping the game going. Like, people will come up with 1,000,001 reasons why the game is ending. But, like, until Nasu goes up on stage and says, we're done. Everybody's lying and does not have your best interest in heart. Everybody who's talking about the end of service does not have your best interest in heart. They are lying to you. They want you to stop playing the game because they're miserable. And I'll be fucking dead and buried before I let some Reddit motherfucker tell me how to live my life. Oh my god, Big Prez. I didn't know that she became Big Prez. We all want the Gilgamesh buff. Who the fuck is we? We speaking French in my chat room now? Who's we? Yo, what's up, Alex? Oh, we're in Ort Mash. Fuck. Oops. It shouldn't matter. Yeah, Gilgamesh has enough love. You know who needs a buff? Eric Bloodaxe. What the fuck? Who? Exactly. See, now you're getting it. Alright. Time to see Oomphy in action. Fuck him up, Flora. Bro, I'm still in disbelief that we were able to beat all of Elden Ring in like, what, 4 streams? Who knew New Game Plus was so fucking easy? And the hardest fight wasn't even Melania. The hardest fight that we did was the fucking Godskin duo. Enkidu could use a buff, but to be honest, they're pretty... I think Enkidu's fine. I genuinely think that Enkidu is fine right now. That isn't to say that Enkidu couldn't benefit from having a little bit of extra juice in the tank, you know what I mean? But
let's be honest, you just wanted to play Windwaker.
Yes, that's true. I don't know. Enkidu could benefit from a buff. But so could everybody. I mean, Enkidu's still one of the premier servants for killing anything that's a divinity, so, like, you know. I will say, my chat said it earlier, an Enkidu animation update would be very welcome. Because I love Enkidu. Enkidu's great. I mean, low-key, they are a sleeper favorite servant of mine. Just because I feel like they get love, but I want them to get more love. And I do have my Enkidu on NA built to kill anything that is even slightly divine. OG even buffed for Enkidu? You'd have to, if you were gonna buff him, it'd have to be his Noble Phantasm or his skill 1, which is his steroid. I don't think that you can. I don't think that you should like reduces the cooldown on his heal. His heal is already so good. 10 turns is too much, but like also you only are going to be using that once per battle. If you're in a fight where you're using Enkidu's heal more than once, then you did not build a good team. you fucked up somewhere. Somewhere along the line, you made a mistake. Your Enkidu is very, very durable, but should not be in a fight for 20 turns. Has MP's been buffed already? They've buffed MPs twice before, though. Using Kido in a durable fight against Coin and Lost Belt 5, or whatever the fuck Olympus was. Mods, kill that guy. I wanted to solo with MP2 at level 100. I do. And Kido solos are really fun. When is the next, like, Nero quest-esque? Try me. Do you really want me to try you, Shadow R Wing? I have the button right here. I do. I have the big scary button right here. Bye. Deja just started playing Uma Musume Pretty Derby.
Eh, bonjour. Phony.
Phony. Bro got hit by the funny ban and started cracking. I regret not grailing them sooner. I could still do it, but I gotta save grails for the 120 Dubai. Fair. I need to, I'm really tempted right now. So, I probably should just do it. I cannot level the two characters I'm trying to get to 120 right now because of coin issues. I'm running into a coin diff because fucking Daikokuten and Lacusta are both not high enough NP level, and neither of them wanted to come home, so I am in a deficit of coins right now. Have fun on your master grade. I am thinking of, I'm going to check how many grails do I have on NA. If I have enough, if I have a comfortable amount of grails, we did just get 2 from the event, I might funnel them into Shuten Doji. The ultimate catalyst. I'm gonna funnel them into Shuten. Do we get more coins this Annie? I think so. I think this is the Annie where we get the coins, isn't it? Shuten Drive-In. Shuten Doji did kill my entire chat, which is really funny. So maybe I'll hold off until Annie to finish like grailing them, but you know. Yeah, the coin system is ass. It's ass and everybody hates it, and they should. Alright, let me see. How many grails do I have? So let me check my Shuten skills. Have I leveled her skills? Oh god. My Shuten Doji skill levels are 766. I guess I ran out of fucking, like, what are they called? Oh, not Noble Phantasm helmets. Pound Genesis. How many rails do I have? Where are you at, Shootin' Dojins? I have 15. Yeah, I can afford it. I can throw 5 at her. I'll embark on the quest to 120 cents. I need 900 coins, right? Yep, something like that. I would know. I did the same quest for Eric. And let me tell you, it sucks. Because there's this magical thing that happens when the game detects that you're rolling for a very certain 2-star, and that's they will stop giving them to you. The moment the game realizes, the second that you grail them, the game will detect that and then stop having them show up. Why? Because fuck you. Spend your coins, pig. That's why. Roll the gotcha, baby. Pay old Nastu with your free friend points. It's so fucked up they're called friend points, too. I'm excited for Summer Dubai. I've been manifesting it for years. Still in disbelief that my joke prediction about a summer set in Dubai came true. I mean, honestly, it is very funny. I talked about it in the last stream, but like the fact that BB Dubai caused an art revolution, not for hot ladies in her dress, but muscly, rippled men, is one of my favorite things that has ever happened to the fake community. Genuinely, a Christmas miracle. You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna... Yay. If you want to get all the appends, I believe it'll be 900 once we get the other 2 appends as Annie. God damn. No, Arthur's not a character in this game. I've seen the battle maps in JP. It's surprisingly almost 1-to-1 accurate to real. I mean, it's kind of funny how weirdly, like, in-depth FGO makes its battle maps that are based on real locations like that. Like, my buddy Jordan lives in Tennessee. And when they had, like, the event that had Super Bunyan, that has, like, the full American map, they apparently even, like, mapped out where things were properly and located them, and he showed, holy shit, they got Beale Street and shit like that. He was losing. He loved it. That was great. Hashire. Huyenjo. Alright, Huyan. Fuck him up. That's proof that they can try when they want to, so why don't they try with everything else? I don't know what you mean. They do tend to try with most things. I think it's instead people just take for granted how often they are trying and instead focus on the times when they don't. Like, you'll get moments where the Fate team becomes complacent. However, the vast majority of the time, no, they do, as a matter of fact, try. It's just easy to pick out the times when they don't, because by and large, you know, it's the exception, not the rule. The little monkeys never die? That's not true. I've seen Gramps kill these things. I'm ashamed to use pure prisms, but fish stars. Don't be ashamed. Pure prisms are there for that exact reason. Don't be ashamed of that. Alright, I'm gonna throw the fucking sun at this guy. The little monkeys do not run away when Gramps hits them, because Gramps sends them to hell. I cast death. Jesus Christ, who even shows tits are bigger than her goddamn head? You're also limited by the game format code for it to show as well. They do try to make the story more engaging with dynamic cutscenes, but it'll look blurry on some phones still. Bigger devices like tablets, yeah. I mean, the current event on NA, they've done at least with like my phone, from what I was looking at with them, they did a fantastic job.
胡彦宙
Like with those animated cutscenes. I thought it
胡
was,
彦
great.
少儿
Mind you, I don't disagree that the idea that they should actually tell you what your skills do and what numbers are being leveled up. And I'm hoping that maybe we get like that. Hopefully that'll be a quality of life thing in the future. There's just some things that are just carryovers from back when the game was like made in goddamn 2015, which you'd hope would be updated, but for whatever reason they do operate kind of slowly with quality of life like that. We're getting there, but... Oh, that is a really big spider off to my left. Hey, buddy!
Fuck Gilgamesh.
Do you guys want to see the spider next to my fucking desk? Hold on. Buddy? Hey, man. I'm gonna put this little dude outside. Hey. Hey. Where you going, buddy? You don't pay rent, you gotta go home. Well, I shouldn't say that. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Oops. Hey. You guys want to see a picture? I did take a picture. It's a spider warning. little fella. He's just a little guy. It does always kind of skeeve me out for like half a second to look over and then see on my wall to see that shit.
Pain and suffering await you.
The champ. Think of the resub
Almost
for
there, could you
35.
arrive?
Yeah, you're almost there for the 3 years. Holy shit. Think of the resub. That's a big boy. No, he's not that big. He's a little guy. He's just a little guy. He's a little fat little boy. Affectionate. Thank you for the almost 3 years. Welcome back. Glad to have you back. Our spiders are microscopic in comparison. That's fair. Yeah, he's probably gotten nice and big off of like the bugs that are first starting to come out. Howdy. Well, okay, I agree they do need to end the stupid fucking code thing that they have. When was that released on JP? Was that with the 9th anniversary? That was with Anniversary 9, right? Because that should be coming out soon. Transfer codes. Issuing a transfer code. And instead you can link it to an Aniplex account. Which is still kind of an archaic thing to do, but isn't like... You know. It's not like signing up with like a fucking website or something like that isn't the most unheard of thing on the planet for a gacha game to have you do. Yeah, I think that ways that they could improve FGO in that regard is, yeah, I mean, I think that having guaranteed drops would be good. I think that one of the best things to do is maybe not an auto battle necessarily, like how some people want it. I think the idea that if you are able to clear a quest, you should be able to maybe, I think the idea is if you cleared the quest, you should be able to farm it by going to it and then just like clicking A and do this automatically kind of deal, right? Like, one of the most annoying things with FGO is that the numbers are inconsistent fairly constantly.
If you clear a quest without losing a servant, then you get to auto clear.
Yeah, that would be a good way to go about that, yeah. Enemy traits and attributes before you start the quest rather than finding out when you check the enemy details in battle. I thought they did that. I thought they did change that. Let's wave a huntsman spider in the mudroom. He's just chilling. I mean, yeah. Spiders, for the most part, they don't really fuck with you unless you fuck with them. Like, they might crawl on you, but they don't, like, bite you. They're mostly just, like, around. You can check in battle, in-game now is the change. Gotcha. I thought that they did something where, like, if you've cleared the quest, that it appears after. Have clear tickets that you can exchange using app. Don't do that. When did he make another rank up quest? This is her first one. I just haven't done it. We're just getting through it. Use 80 AP to make the auto clear green apples. No, I think that what you should just do is it should operate the way how you could do an effective auto farming thing is if you have it set up similar to FGA, where you run the battle, and then the game, if you complete it without losing any servants, the game asks you, would you like to save this replay? And then you can hit yes or no. And if you hit yes, it'll capture that replay, and then it'll give you the option to be like, okay, do you want to replay this replay? And then it lets you do that over and over and over again for the cost of the AP. Is that what Arknights does? Good. I think that's the way to do it. That way it forces you to keep the game open and like play the game, which is the goal of the game, right? Is to be played. Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say FGO is like an up-to-date game. There's plenty of shit that it needs to get up-to-date with. I'm genuinely kind of baffled that they just have ignored the community to a degree with some of the quality of life stuff, and that it moves so slowly. Part of me wants to blame Sony for that. Because from what I recall, Sony is the one who has most of the reins on that shit, on what is and isn't released. Damn, he may fucking beefy. Yeah, I think higher drop chances are the things that is the thing that genuinely, I think that if they're going to make any one change, more guarantees on drop rates would be the big one I would focus on. Actually, my NP5 Okihime there. I would believe you. I'm deleting her for your crimes. I don't know about that, Moon. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and like tell stories out of school about shit I don't really know about. We know that a lot of changes that have been made that have slowed the game down and seem like they're just done for pure unbridled greed was against the will of the team who was making FGO. The most prime example of that was with fucking, what is it? Fucking number 9, Anniversary 9, where they released the new coins, like the new coin thing, and then didn't release. They're like, "Yep, roll even more for your characters to max them out," and people were like, "Okay, you're out of your fucking mind." That was the straw that broke the camel's back for a lot of people. Being like, "Okay, that's ridiculous. You're out of your fucking mind." And people who watched that stream remember fucking Tucson came up and was just like, dude looked like he was on the verge of tears, knowing that people were going to be like, "This is your fault, fuck you." Except people weren't. Most people were just like, "Oh, this dude does not want to be making this announcement." You know what I mean? Like, that was when I think a lot of people realized, like, oh, these guys are doing what they can, and the higher-ups are the ones who are pulling the fucking strings to make this the way that it is. You can go back and look at that stream. The dude is on the verge of tears, knowing people are going to be fucking pissed. And that was one of the very few times I've seen the FGO JP community actually, like, get up in arms and be pissed about something. Normally, it's just people in the West freaking the fuck out. And you get hardcore Fate fans here in Japan who lose their minds about shit, but, like, for the most part, like, a lot of, like, the hyper drama that gets, like, spread around everywhere, I'm gonna be real with you fellas, That's mostly a Western thing. People going fucking nuclear about stupid ass shit. Or rather, I guess the better way to describe it is it happens more often in the West. It's less of a thing. It's not as prevalent in Japan. And certainly not to the same degree of just like ravenous hatred. You can tell they don't want to lose the goodwill of the... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, which is why you know for a fact that that Tucson then went after that whole debacle and was just like, we need to change this. We need to fix this shit. Otherwise, y'all are going to see some shit hit the super fan. You know, we got it. I mean, we got a change. We'll just have to see what the future holds. I would love more quality of life stuff from FGO, but I'll be honest, I don't hold my breath for it. So my expectations on Aftertime, I think it'll be a setup for whatever the next part of the story is going to end up being. What that actually ends up looking like, I can't tell you. I'd imagine that the way how they would set it up properly would be, okay, there's a rogue beast that's on the loose, and we need to find it. And what we're gonna probably end up doing is, I'm gonna reckon it's gonna go four chapters. Where 4 main story chapters where we end up trying to hunt down this mysterious beast that is supposedly causing trouble. And then that's going to lead us into some other future thing that we need to, like, deal with, right? I missed a rank up? Oh. Crazy. And then, you know, we'll just, like, go from there and see what happens. But, I mean, until we get more information, it's hard to say. We've been kind of, like, breadcrumbed a bit, and, you know, I'd be interested to see what new stuff they have. It would probably help me if I was actually reading the events that were being released, because if that was the case, I might have some, like, better context for things that are happening, right? But I'm also not trying to spoil myself too terribly much. FGO fans are simple. Give them a good story and a cool history, and they'll eat it up and fork over the money. It's not hard to fuck things up. But somehow the higher-ups did it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. All right, fellas. It's bedtime for me. I will be live tomorrow. Honestly, around this time. For now, though, I'll catch y'all later. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. I am going to go pass out in my fucking bed. I need to go do my bed sheets here soon. All right. Peace out, fellas. Big love. A good night. A good night.
Change the world. My final message.